So I heard that this particular video by Jason Aldeans has been banned from CMT. I saw a story on my Facebook page about this. Someone saying that they are mad at CMT. I'm not familiar with CMT. I don't watch CMT. That's country music television, I imagine. And so, yeah. And so supposedly that they blocked this video because it was something that they disagreed with. And so I'm going to react to this video. I've never seen it. I've seen a couple clips as I was actually trying to set up for this video, but I have not ever watched the video at all, more than a few seconds. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go over the actual story behind this and why it's so controversial. I don't know why, considering videos like WAP, you know what I'm saying? That's perfectly acceptable. However, this particular video seems to be that way. So let's go over to Breitbart, and there's an article here. CMT pulls Jason Aldeans, try that in a small town music video. Now, I have some stuff highlighted here that I want to go over. It says here, CMT pulled their recently released music video for Jason Aldeans' new single, Try That in a Small Town, which aggressively attacks recent riots and rising lawlessness in the United States. So far, it's received 346,000 views on YouTube. And this was yesterday, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be higher than that. I'm gonna skip over into the description of it because I don't wanna be slanted at all, but I do wanna come down here where it says here from Variety magazine. Critics of the song are also incensed over Aldeans filming in front of a courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, that is well known for having been the site of blank blank. I won't say that on YouTube. Aldeans did not address this controversy. He says here, in the past 24 hours, I have been accused of releasing a I won't say that on here, and a subject to the comparison that I, direct quote, was not too pleased with the nationwide riots from BLM. These references are not only meritless, but dangerous. And so I'm not gonna comment on that until I actually see the video. So let's go into it now. As you probably know how I feel already on this, so I'm not even gonna comment now, especially before I watch it. So let's check it out. This is Jason Aldeans, Try That in a Small Town. I have the lyrics. I'm going to try and keep those in track with everything. And if I can do that, we will be able to comment on not only the actual video itself, the visuals, but also I should be able to comment on the lyrics. All right, here we go. First time out. Let's go. As I must say, I have to stop this every few seconds just to make sure that there's no copyright infringement. You know, it just depends on how the licensing works, but typically you can have this sort of thing as long as you have breaks in the middle of it. So let's go here. So far it says sucker punch someone on a sidewalk. Here we go.
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner.
So first of all, you know, I mean, these images that he's mentioning right here, he's in front of this courthouse. And by the way, I can already tell you right now that everything they said about him in Variety magazine is absolutely meritless, like Jason said. It's a courthouse. The whole point of having a courthouse is for justice. Justice. So the fact that that happened, a lot of bad things happen in a lot of places, doesn't mean we can't go there and you know, do a video or protest or whatever, as long as it's legal. All right, so here we go. Anyway, so these images here, sucker punch, carjack, all these things, you know, we have seen on YouTube and on TMZ and all these things where people are being assaulted by a certain group of people, and you kind of know what I'm talking about here, and nothing is being done about it, hardly at all. And I can get into that further, but it's already self-explanatory based on what we've seen over the past 3 years in this country.
Of a liquor store, you think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think it.
So he has these images here as people, you know, are doing this, and obviously it's striking. So this is the first verse. Obviously, it's going to be to grab that attention, to stake his claim of what he's saying here. I guess he's leading into what is a society that is double standard, right? That has a law for one group of people and another law for another group of people.
Tough. We'll try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take.
Now, I think here's one thing that I think that's making the left go crazy is the fact that they feel that big cities, urban societies are progressive, they're hip, they are the better option for everything in life. However, at the same time, they're actually criticizing this so-called flyover country, Hickville, talking down to people who live in rural environments. And so there's that dichotomy in terms of, this is some way to them a backhanded slap against their way of life. And that's exactly what it is. But also it goes back to traditional values that a lot of these people just resent that. And we say small town, those are the images that come up, nuclear family, going to church, conservative Christian values. And that is what he's leading into here. And also, but we're also not, we're not weak either. And that we will defend and look after each other. And that's right there, strikes a chord off the bat with these liberals and leftists.
Long for you to find out, I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
So you have the image of you have an image right there of the courthouse actually on fire. And so obviously he's giving the imagery to show you, hey, that's what I'm talking about, that justice is not being adhered to. It's not being done. It's a two-tier system. And that's what he's screaming here. This is a protest song. And I think people should see it as that and stop looking into it for reasons to backlash it, especially when you have other videos, by Cardi B and so forth, that are totally obnoxious and raunchy and disgusting. That's no problem. But to do something like this, to have a social commentary of something that's happening, that's obvious in our news, in our society, that people care about, somehow that's sort of a problem. And for CMT to do it, a country music television station to do it, it's kind of disgusting. But CMT, just like BET, they're not owned by the people that they claim to represent. BET is not a Black-owned company. I'm sure CMT is not a traditional country music television owned company either. I don't know for sure, but I strongly imagine that. And if they are severely compromised.
Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small.
The left hates the Second Amendment. So that right there, verse 2 is already going to make them upset. So they're going to look for reasons to hate this song, period.
See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
So here we go. We're about to go into the bridge. So let's just talk about some of the video imagery here. Obviously, it's at night, and there's a lot of transitioning in terms of composite video where you see the actual impose of a fire on top of something, or the drummer or the guitarist there and the musician being superimposed on this fire element. And so that imagery is also compelling because it strikes right into the heart of what the song is trying to say. It's basically saying, mess around and find out, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Good old boys.
And there you go. This is an image there. I guess as a closed caption or closed circuit video of what he's talking about, And
raised up right.
Yeah, and see, most of the people have seen these images all over the place. And I'm sure people in this country who love this country are just shocked and embarrassed to see this sort of stuff happening in our country over the past 2 years, especially considering what happened in May of 2020, all the way into where we are, not so much now, but for those 2 years after May 20 into 2021, in middle of 2021, all the time, in almost every other day, you'd see a viral video happening, and he's bringing that back into our light, and he's flashing that right back into society, just like the movie Joker did. It puts a mirror on society and points it right back at you, and it says, hey, you're not so good. You are not this Roddenberry or society. Roddenberry was the guy who did Star Trek. He believed in evolutionary progress. He believed in utopia. He believed we're getting bigger and better and stronger. We're not. And that kind of philosophy, that secularistic humanistic philosophy, is something that is pushed. And when something like this comes out, it's saying, no, we're not getting better. We're getting worse. We're degressing. We're not getting progressive. We're getting degressive. And that is what the core of why people hate this song, not to mention everything else I'm talking about leftists, that is the reason why they are turning their nose to this, because they want to shut it down. They don't want people to see it. But of course, the opposite happens because people say, hey, why are you hating this video? That's why I'm doing this video, is because I saw so much hatred for it. So I decided after several days to go ahead and do a video. So that's what happens. And they don't get that. The guitar solo. All these images we've seen before, you know. Hold on. Not going up there. So let's go back to where we are here. I'm sure we are in the same spot here. Find out where we are. Let's go. Images of Americana, of traditional America, superimposed against traditional values that we're used to seeing. So he's taking the worst of our country and then superimposing it and juxtaposing it against the best of our country, you know. And he's doing it in a clever, thematic way. And as far as the song's concerned, you know, I'm not a big country music fan in general, but you know, in terms of lyrically, and obviously it's awesome. In terms of visually, the video I think is great, and musically I think it's okay. I don't hate the song, but I think I like it more because of what it's saying.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need, and they've come to help.
So here we have some sort of I guess it's a news footage that they're doing, a voiceover.
What this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
So that just basically it just underpins his message again by giving real people and real news accounts of what's happening in this country, to give it a more of a home-based element. I think that's a good touch. I haven't seen much of that in the video. And I like the shot there with the flag by the courthouse and the smoke machine going behind him. That's kind of cool, and it's dimly lit. And what he's wearing is nice. It's black, and he's like, look, you know, he looks tough. He looks ominous. He looks like, yeah, I mean, you know, mess around and find out. And the next shot is it goes from dark to light to dark to light. So it goes from dark behind the courthouse to the light of the cornfield looking the other way, back to him looking to the right, and now back to a tractor on the break of dawn, or it could be the evening, either one. See, dark, light, sunset, unsunset, sunrise, don't know. So yeah, so he's putting these images in there that I think is pretty cool, and I think he did a good job putting it together. I mean, it sounds like it's really well thought out. I may check out some more of this guy's videos. His name is this is his name. His name, I won't say it wrong, Jason Aldeans. So good job to you, sir. I really appreciate you doing that. I think it's fantastic. And you know what? I recommend people check it out and buy this album or this record, whatever it is. I think I might pick up a copy myself just because I want to support the effort. Right now, it's iTunes #1. I think it just passed I forget the name of the song, the Tracy Chapman remake, Fast Car. I think it just passed that on iTunes. So yeah, so fantastic. And guys, if you like this, we've done other reaction videos on this channel before, mostly Tom MacDonald, but other artists too. So this is the first country one non-rap one that I've done probably ever. So anyway, hope you like it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.